Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and recently Blizzard put out a pretty major nerf for a lot of classes for the patch 8.1 right before BlizzCon. This video is simply to just update you exactly what is going on and how it will affect you. Overall, there was a lot of nerfs in general, but some of you guys might be happy about them if you are not these classes, but rather if you see and have to fight against these classes out in the world or compete against in raids. Anyway, let's get into the nitty-gritty details of what just happened to racials and a few classes. First of all, Blizzard went and nerfed for patch 8.1, so this is just PTR stuff, it's not live, but Arcane Torrent is now a 2-minute cooldown, up from 1.5-minute cooldown. So 30 seconds extra. It was, I guess, a little too strong for Mythic Pluses, and a lot of Alliance players complained that Blood Elves are just kind of the way to go. They are the clap, and they can utilize the racials so much better than majority of the Alliance racials, especially against mobs that will just buff up everyone around them. Then again, Berserking for Trolls got a what looks to be a nerf in the long run. It went from a 15% haste increase over 10 seconds down to 12% haste increase over 12 seconds. So Blizzard is trying to kind of soften the fall by reducing how much haste you get in the opener, usually like a mini bloodlust for all your burst, by extending it by a few seconds, but overall reducing the amount of haste it gives. Overall though, it has been confirmed that it does look like a nerf for the racial. I wonder if there would have been a possibility for Blizzard instead to buff certain racials on the Alliance rather than nerfing certain Horde racials, but maybe all these nerfs to the Blood Elves, well, to make Horde and Alliance a little bit more equal for PvE and PvP, but maybe the Troll nerf is there because the Zandalari racials might just be revealed in BlizzCon. I'll of course be making a bunch of videos on BlizzCon stuff ASAP, so it could be a possibility that they simply are trying to get players to re-roll from a Troll into maybe a Zandalari Troll. Maybe the racials will be kind of similar. Maybe they'll have to do something about haste. Possible? Could be. We don't really know. We'll find out very soon. And now for some class changes and how they will affect a lot of you and how you guys will compete against these classes in PvP or PvE. Some of these are straightforward, like this Demon Hunter nerf to I-Beam. That was a damage nerf, which simply just a damage nerf. I guess Demon Hunters were doing a lot of cleave damage. It's a one-and-all ability that's a single target that does more damage to whatever mob you're targeting, but it can also function for AoE. And you use I-Beam as a good portion of your damage also to trigger Metamorphosis, so which also gives more damage afterwards. In PvP, I don't think anyone is going to start ignoring Demon Hunters by any measure, but healers and DPS will know that, okay, maybe the I-Beam might not kill me. In PvE, however, it will mean the Demon Hunters simply are going to be doing slightly less damage. Maybe this was a change to maybe encourage Demon Hunters to want to go for an I-Beam heavier build, or even consider I-Beam Azeroth traits as a viable option. Next on the chopping block, we got Frost Mages getting completely chopped on their slow-based effect, especially when it comes to slowing down huge packs of mobs, as well as any kind of single target slow they might bring. Frost Mages, whether you love them or hate them, have been amazing for Mythic Plus dungeons because of their ability to slow all the mobs for a very long time by 65%, making them basically crawl to the tank, allowing tanks to kite around and other DPS to take advantage of this slow effect. In PvP as well, it has been pretty obnoxious that you barely graze a Frost Mage, you barely touch one of his abilities, you barely run into a Blizzard, and bam, you got yourself the longest slow in the world, and you just have to crawl the whole time. It isn't sometimes all that great to play around. So this change is going to be pretty bad for Frost Mages, but everybody around you, whether you PvP or PvE, might be happy or unhappy. Here it goes. So the slows are, Blizzard is going to do a 1.5 second slow. So you are slowed while you are sitting in the Blizzard. That means mobs and players that have been hit by Blizzard don't just take that slow for the next 15 seconds, but rather while they are under the Blizzard, they are slowed. So if they have to pass through it, that's what's going to do the slow. Similar thing is happening to Frozen Orb. It's going to be a 30% baseline slow that only lasts for 3 seconds. So while enemies are running by Frozen Orb, they are going to be slowed. The only slow that's going to persist for a while is going to be from Frostbolt, and it's only going to persist for 8 seconds. So this is a pretty big curbing for the Frost Mage slow. Now, because of a talent that allows Frost Mages to increase their slows by 15%, the Frozen Orb slow is 30% baseline, but with a talent it's like 45, so still a 50% slow every 3 seconds. But this simply means that Frost Mages won't have as insane of an AoE control in dungeons. And in PvP, if you barely graze a Frost ability without it being a Frostbolt, you're not going to be completely, totally punished for it, which allowed Frost Mages to basically put the whole team at a complete crawl, and it was impossible to get away. Still, Frostbolts and getting Frostbolts on enemies is going to be the ability you'll be using for slows, which I feel like might curb the damage that a Frost Mage might be able to do overall, and the utility of a Frost Mage is going to be a lot lesser. I don't think this will allow, like in Mythic Plus dungeons, the ability for Fire Mages or for even Arcane Mages to shine all of a sudden, but I know a lot of people are gonna start taking a look at Assassination Rogues running Master Poisoner talent in order to get that 60% slow AoE baseline from somewhere else. This is a quick one because I'm not a healer, but I thought this was awesome. If you're a Holy Priest and you want a PvP, in patch 8.1, they're adding a change to Holy Word Concentration. The honor talent itself wasn't powerful to begin with, but they're making a change, so you now bless the ground with Divine Light, I guess in an AoE purpose, causing all allies who stand within it to be immune to all silence and interrupt effects. Last 8 seconds, 45-second cooldown. We don't see a lot of Holy Priests, so if you're someone who's a Priest main, maybe picking up and trying out Holy Priest in 8.1 might be sweet if you have a Frost Mage friend or a Affliction Warlock friend or any spellcaster combination you want to run, because Holy Word Concentration can be used on you as well as other people. So it might give you another honor talent to play around with. I mean, I guess, who knows? And finally, Arms Warriors are getting the Bladestorm nerf by what says, at least on Wowhead, they have the number to 17%, and there's a slight rage nerf on Execute. But the Bladestorm one is a pretty big one. Bladestorm is an ability that allows them to deal damage with its AoE or single target, so this is just to bring down the power level of Arms Warriors. Maybe to encourage Bladestorm Azeroth traits, or to encourage more people to even give Fury another go around. I don't really know what Blizzard is doing. I'm not a huge fan of nerfs. I'd rather have them buff certain aspects that are not that great. So this one is weird, but if you're someone who PvPs, I think you're going to be enjoying the fact that Arms Warriors are just simply not going to be able to chop your team as easily just by pressing Bladestorm at the very least. When it comes to doing Mythic Plus dungeons with an Arms Warrior, maybe they might want to reconsider Fury here and there. Who knows? Could be decent, but it is simply just a nerf. Don't really know what to say about that one. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed being updated. If you're one of those classes getting nerfed, I do feel bad for you. I do hope the Blizzard does eventually change it about by, instead of nerfing classes that are strong, buffing specs that are simply not as good. They're just not as worked on or not as updated as often. I think it would be a great way for Blizzard to kind of turn around how they have been doing class bouncing. But if you're one of those classes that drew the short straw, or you're one of those classes that faces against anybody who just got nerfed in Arena regularly, then I guess you are probably kind of happy. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about these changes, and do you think it's possible that maybe the troll racial nerf might be to expected before the Zandalari racial is unveiled? I honestly think it's a possibility. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see all of you in the next update.